The teacher admitted she created explicit content in a classroom and advertised it, but claimed she did so after school hours on the weekend with no students present. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, going to go over a story, or actually an article, titled Arizona Teacher and Hubby Lose Jobs After Filming OnlyFans Videos in Class. And guys, this story, which doesn't surprise me, maybe you saw this article, this is about a couple teachers out in Arizona, both a husband and wife. The wife is an 8th grade teacher, so we're talking about 13 and 14-year-olds. And the husband is a 4th grade elementary school teacher, so we're talking about 9 and 10-year-olds. And they have now been fired from their jobs, or voluntarily left, even though they were going to be fired anyway, because not only did they have a joint OnlyFans account, but also they were filming their PORN videos in the classrooms of the school, I think the junior high school, when school was out. And they got busted by their students, and then obviously it was shown that people could see the classroom. I mean, you want to talk about how stupid is this? And now in this article, the teacher, because she's the one that's being interviewed, is crying the blues because she had to do this because obviously her teacher's salary and his teacher's salary wasn't enough nowadays, and they can't make ends meet. So therefore, the only option is to do PORN on OnlyFans and film it in their classrooms. And she's singing the blues and crying about that and how unfair it is and all that. So we are truly, as I say in Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0. Now, I gotta say this before I get into this story here. I get that there are a lot of people out there that are living paycheck to paycheck, and that is really unfortunate. A lot of people are struggling, but a lot of people that are struggling, they find other ways to get by until things improve. They will sometimes take on a second job to get some extra money. Maybe both husband and wife will do that. They will look at their budget and cut back on things they don't need. They'll pay for the bare necessities. They may cut back on going out to eat, going to the movies, buying clothes, trips, stuff like that if they have to. Not their first choice, but they'll do that because they have to do that as responsible adults and parents to survive. They will, maybe instead of going out to eat as often, they'll cook more at home. They'll, instead of shopping at Whole Foods for groceries, they'll go to Walmart. Things like that. They don't do PORN. And what we're having more and more is people using that as an excuse to act in this way. And in my opinion, since these are both teachers, they absolutely should be fired and not be ever teaching again, because you are influencing young minds. Believe me, I don't want a lot of these people influencing kids, given how some of these wackos are in front of the classroom. But you get my point, they still are an influence in shaping young minds. And that is an absolute disgrace. If I was a parent, there's no way in hell I'd want someone doing that in front of the kids. If they were on their own doing it, that's one thing. But teachers and doing it at the school. So, I'm going to get into this and I'll comment away. And by the way, at the end, I'm going to read some comments. And there are so many comments on this particular story. This is brand new, particularly from teachers who have an opinion on these other teachers. You'll love that. So it starts off, says, an 8th grade teacher in Arizona and her husband have lost their school jobs after they recorded OnlyFans videos in her classroom. A side hustle she claimed was necessary to supplement their low salaries. Newsflash, when people want to pursue a certain career, it makes a lot of sense to research what you're going to be paid for these things. Using the alias Chloe Carter, Thunderbolt Middle School science teacher Samantha Peer uploaded the X-rated videos for her OnlyFans page, which her students found and shared amongst themselves, the Today News Herald reported. Of course the kids are going to find it. If people think nowadays that the kids aren't going to find things, you're out of your mind. I've seen 4th graders, 10-year-olds that are more adept and knowledgeable things like that online and computers and all that than their parents. It's hilarious. Her husband, Nautilus Elementary School 4th grade teacher Dylan Peer, 4th grade teacher, also took part in the adult productions inside the Lake such and such Unified School District building, according to the report. In the school. Samantha said she resigned under pressure October 31st after being placed on paid administrative leave and probation. Dylan was let go 4 days later. On Friday, she released a video explaining that she and her hubby resorted to creating X-rated videos because of their low salaries. You couldn't do something else. You couldn't cut back your budget. You couldn't, if you were really in dire straits, ask family for help. Get a second job, something. But no, trying to do the PORN on OnlyFans. And by the way, guys, I don't know if you're aware of this, but most OnlyFans stars, people who do this stuff, don't make a whole lot of money. Only a small percentage are the ones that actually make mega bucks that you hear about in the articles. Okay, they're less than 1%. You know, risking your careers only for a few $100, maybe even a few $1,000 a month, doesn't make any financial sense. But a lot of these people aren't the sharpest tools in the shed. She says, my children are the most important thing to me, and I'm already spending countless hours outside of my contact time on extra school activities. And I don't think it's fair that I have to sacrifice my own children's time because our professional salary did not pay enough, she said in a WFLA report. Newsflash, lady, there are other people out there with children, and they are struggling to get by, and they find other ways to do it without doing this. Because it's bad enough that they're doing this, bad enough that they're teachers, but they also are parents to kids. That's what it sounds. I'm assuming when they say their children, they refer to their own children, not the children in school. Samantha said that she began creating the content at the beginning of the summer to help cover her needs. How about a job as a bartender? A lot of teachers I know when I used to go to Outback a lot were bartenders in the summertime. It got to a point where our family was not able to survive on our two teachers' income, she said. I chose an anonymous name as well as blocking the entire state of Arizona on OnlyFans so it wasn't accessible to anyone living in the state, Samantha explained. Doesn't matter. People are going to find you. And you don't film this in the classroom at the school where you teach. If you want to do a school teacher scene, buy a freaking blackboard and a desk and set up a little studio of that scene, not in your own where you work. The teacher admitted she created explicit content in a classroom and advertised it, but claimed she did so after school hours on the weekend with no students present. Oh, well, that's better. She broke into the school and did PORN in the school. It was unclear how the students found her content, which they circulate amongst themselves. Of course they did. Samantha said she was placed on administrative leave after a community member notified the district about the content on October 24th. 2 days later, I had asked that an individual that was assigned to my case be removed because they had created a hostile work environment between me and the other coworkers for several years during my employment, she said. Whether that's true or not, who knows? I did not feel safe with them knowing this information, and I felt that they would spread it in retaliation for their own personal vendetta, Samantha added. You're the one that voluntarily put that up online. You're the one that chose to do all that. You chose to film these things in your school. Nobody forced you to do that. She said that she said she was told if she resigned before a school board meeting, the district would not publicize the sordid matter. But the images were then shared amongst the teachers. Of course the teachers shared it. What do you expect? These teachers were also telling my students my anonymous name and showing them my page, Samantha alleged. This was also sent to the parents, and they decided to do the same thing as well. Well, that's possible, but the likelihood is the kids found it and it spread like wildfire, and of course the parents were going to find out about this, and of course the parents are going to spread this around because the parents don't want the teachers that are influencing their kids 7-8 hours a day doing this stuff. On November 7th, the school notified parents about students sharing the explicit videos. They said it has come to our attention that the students have been airdropping explicit material. The images did not happen during the school day, and the person depicted no longer works for the school, the email said, and the Arizona Family reported. Please remove all images from your child's phone and talk with them about the appropriate use of technology, it added. No criminal charges have been filed against the educator, the news outlet said. She got lucky. Consider that a blessing. One parent says, I'm absolutely outraged. Our kids shouldn't have been exposed to this, said Alan Bilski, the mother of 8th grader, adding that Samantha's account was linked to her non-alias social media pages. Hang on here. Her account was linked to her non-alias social media pages. She was connecting her OnlyFans to her regular social media pages that some of the parents and kids are connected to. Again, not the sharpest tool in the shed. Another parent said, if it was just an OnlyFans account, I wouldn't be as upset because then they would be 100%. Then that would be 100% would be on the kid's parent. But this is public and an easy Google search will find anything, Bilski told the News Herald. Another parent, Christina Miner, said Samantha was sharing these links to her SEX site on her social media accounts, which are public, which children follow her. Then a lady says, Miner said the teacher used her school yearbook photo on OnlyFans on a post that says, "Who wants to be my next teacher's pet?" She says, I'm a taxpayer and I'm not paying these teachers to film PORN. They're being paid to teach our kids and set higher standards for them, she said. School spokeswoman Andrea Hellett told the News Herald that the district cannot comment on personal matters. So that is it for that particular article. I'll wait and see if there's any more. But again, like I said, and I said so many times, Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0. She and her husband got what they deserve, okay? Yes, people are struggling, but there are other ways to deal with when everything is really tight. You find a way. You don't do that online, and now their careers are over. And they deserve it, in my opinion. If I was a parent, I'd be raising holy hell until they were fired and not teaching again, because there's a point you got to draw a line. And she'd actually filmed a video when she was talking about her situation and all that, and you know what? I don't want to hear the waterworks. I don't want to hear the excuse. Take some freaking accountability. Now she has to do something to make ends meet. But instead, they found a different way, like most people do. They would have made it. They would have survived. And maybe that meant that one of them decided, you know what, teaching isn't for me. I need to do something to make more money. Action would have been taking that in the long run. They could have a different career. I don't know what. But now, they're out. Now, a few comments here before I wrap this up. This is the fun part here. One guy says, it amazes me that teachers complain about being underpaid. You would think before entering the profession, there would be some research done to find the pay scale for your chosen field. If you can't make it on what's advertised, find something else to do. I would love to rent beach umbrellas, but research shows it wouldn't pay the rent or no 401k. Exactly. You research that ahead of time. Now, bear in mind that we have a sudden surge of inflation over the last year and a half, higher in 4 decades. I get that, so those things aren't predicted, but eventually they'd be okay. But still, people know that teachers, depending where they are, don't do as well compared to other things because they do rely on taxpayer money. I grew up in a school district that the teachers made out like kings. But it all depends on where you live and obviously the average income of the area and the socioeconomic of the community. But another guy says here, this is a teacher. As a retired teacher, I'm appalled at what they put in classrooms today. I think what should be coming next with fingerprinting and background checks is comprehensive mental health / wellness tests with counseling. This kind of craziness is happening much too often. I wholeheartedly agree. How many stories do you hear about these female teachers hooking up with their students? Mostly male students, but sometimes female students. I cannot recall one single incident where I read an article where a male teacher was hooking up with the female students. I'm sure they're out there, but we all know darn well, overwhelmingly, it's the female teachers hooking up with the male students. I mean, it's an absolute disgrace. Now the guy says, this is the new woke world we live in. Somebody else is responsible for all my choices, no matter how poor they are. There is always an excuse, and it never starts with me. Yeah, no accountability. Now the guy says, hi. So she thought because she uses an alias and blocked in Arizona, nobody would find out. Really? Just look and see. Who's teaching your people babies? It is a wonder why the United States educational system is at the bottom of the list when compared to other nations. There's a lot of reasons behind that. Another one says, my wonderful first grade teacher, Miss Cochran, couldn't make ends meet with her salary either. So she got a job working weekends at a local department store. As a former teacher myself, this goes against everything I was taught in college and inherently understood. Teachers used to be held in high regard like nurses. Well, not the nurses anymore. We weren't paid a lot, but one knew that going into teaching. We taught because we loved watching the children's faces light up when they got it. We loved teaching, encouraging, and guiding the next generation to great things. We loved it when our former students came back to tell us they finally understood why we were tough on them, and they thanked us. Yes, I've seen former high school teachers and junior high teachers where I apologized for me being a little shithead when I was younger and thanked them. I really did. Nobody goes into teaching for the money. Where is the moral compass of these two individuals? Sure, OnlyFans is an easy way to make a quick money, but at what cost to the person's integrity and soul? I can't imagine how tough it is to survive with today's inflation on 2 teaching salaries. But isn't there another path that doesn't lead to making PORN in elementary and middle school? A freaking man. That was the best comment there. And there were hundreds of comments there. Nobody's supporting these two. So they got what they deserve. But again, you find a way. You don't resort to this. So any teachers out there that are young and struggling, believe me, you have my sympathy as well as many others. But don't do this. Find another way. Budget. Make some cuts. If you've tried everything you could and you're still having a hard time, talk to family. You can find a way. Don't do this. Don't ruin your career over this, over the quick and easy way, because it could blow up in your face. Now those two are done. Now they have to find some other way. They're probably going to be working the registered Target or at the Amazon shipping center this Christmas and doing PORN, anything to get by. And it's such a shame. And they have kids. That's what it sounds like. Anyway, guys, that'd be a good one to cover here. All right, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below and what you think about this. And guys, you come across a good story or article you want to share, by all means, email it to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Just give me some time to get to it, and I will when I get a chance. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.